ಯಾರು ಅರಿಯದ ನೇಗಿಲ ಯೋಗಿಯ ಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ನವ ನೀಡುವನು ಬಯಸದೆ ಅರಸಿದ ಗಳಿಸದೆ ದುಡಿವನು ಗೌರವ ಕಾಣಿಸದೆ ನೇಗಿಲ ಗುಣದೊಳಗಡಗಿದೆ ಧರ್ಮ ಗೆಲುವು ನಮ್ಮದು ಗೆಲುವು ನಮ್ಮದು ಗೆಲುವು ಅನ್ನಗಳ ಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ನೆಲದ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆದ ಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಕೆಂಪು ನೀಲಿ ಬಸಗಡೆ ಒಗ್ಗೂಡಿ ಕೊಡೆವು ಎನ್ನುತ್ತಾ ಕೂಗಾಕಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ನೆಲದ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆವ ಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ನೆಲದ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆವ ಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಹೋರಾಡಲಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟಗಳು ಮುಸುಗುಟ್ಟಲಿ ಮರಗಿಡಗಳು ಮಾತಾಡಲಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ನೆಲದ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆವ ಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ
ಈಗ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆ
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
That was awesome.
ಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ನವ ನೀಡುವನು ಬಯಸದೆ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಗಳಿಸದೆ ದುಡಿಯುವನು ಗೌರವ ಕಾಣಿಸದೆ ಬೇಡಿದ ಗುಣದೊಳಗಡಗಿದೆ ಧರ್ಮ ನೇಗಿಲ ಕುಲದೊಳಗಡಗಿದೆ ಧರ್ಮ ನೇಗಿಲ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತಿದೆ ಧರ್ಮ ನೇಗಿಲ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತಿದೆ ಧರ್ಮ ಉಳುವ ಯೋಗಿಯ ನೋಡಲ್ಲಿ 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 ಗೆಲುವು ನಮ್ಮದು ಗೆಲುವು ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ನೆಲದ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡದ ಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಹಸಿರು ನೇರಳೆ ಕೆಂಪು ನೀಲಿ ಧ್ವಜಗಳೇ ಒಗ್ಗೂಡಿ ಮೂರು ಬಿಡೆವು ಭೂಮಿ ಕೊಡೆವು ಎನ್ನುತ್ತಾ ಕೂಗಾಕಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ನೆಲದ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆವ ಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ನೆಲದ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆವ ಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಹೋರಾಡಲಿ ನೆಲಮುಗಿಲು ಒಂದಾಗಲಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟಗಳು ಕುಸುಗುಟ್ಟಲಿ ಮರಗಿಡಗಳು ಮಾತಾಡಲಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ನೆಲದ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆವ ಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ
ಈಗ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲಿ ಘೋಷಣೆ
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಕ್ಕು ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಕ್ಕು ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಕ್ಕು ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮದೇ.
some corrections there for that winner from the pilot's left-hand side. So let's see how fast the next. We're going to finish on that one.
ಕೆಂಪು ನೀಲಿ ಧ್ವಜಗಳೇ ಒಗ್ಗೂಡಿ ಮೂರು ಬಿಡೆವು ಭೂಮಿ ಕೊಡೆವು ಎನ್ನುತ್ತಾ ಕೂಗಾಕಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟಗಳು ಕುಸುಗುಟ್ಟಲಿ ಮರಗಿಡಗಳು ಮಾತಾಡಲು ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ನೆಲದ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆವ ಭೂಮಿಗಾಗಿ
ಈಗ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲಿ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
Incredible. Still got one more, 3:30 to come. Don't go anywhere, folks. I think I say 3:30, which is going to be the last one. Just a Aviation at Stakes, thank you again for your support, Aviation at Stakes.
ಈಗ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿದೆ.
Thank you C5 Alan, thank you for your 13 months of support as well. If you want to catch the episode 340, that which is down there, make sure to click it live jets 24. It's going to be live streaming from about 5 o'clock this afternoon. We'll see what also equipment, your new SLA mod from the shop, also online shop as well. You can buy SLA collection. And tomorrow, don't forget Pink Plains are live streaming from about 6 o'clock. Saturday at Pink Plains tomorrow. We'll check them out. I'll leave it next month moderators. I'll see you on Thursday, 7:30.
ಈಗ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
ಉಳುವ ಯೋಗಿಯ ನೋಡಲ್ಲಿ 3 years ago in our state of Wisconsin, in the United States, a man went to a Sikh temple and a terrible act of violence killed 6 innocent people, Americans and Indians. And in that moment of shared grief, our two countries reaffirmed the basic truth, as we must again today. Every person has the right to practice the faith how they choose, or to practice no faith at all and to do so free of persecution and fear and discrimination. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nana. What a wonderful introduction. Please have a seat. Nothing fills me with more than I hear India's youth representing this nation's ideals. She makes me very happy. And that may be that's somebody distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all the students and young people who are here today, to the people in India watching, listening,
ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
bring
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
myself and Michelle. Thank you so much for welcoming us back. Waving above us, we celebrated the strength of your Constitution. We pay tribute to India's fallen heroes. In yesterday's parade, we saw the pride and the diversity of this nation, including the daredevils. It was very impressive. Secret Service does not let me ride motorcycles, especially not on my head. I realize what side of American president has to be this is a reflection of possibilities. I've said many times, I believe the relationship between India and the United States can be one of the prime partnerships of the century. I spoke to the Parliament last week, laid out my vision for how education is to build that. Together and how my commitment to a new chapter between our countries, close to the good friendship between our countries. Michelle and I have felt myself. I recognize India was the first state visit of my life. For the first time, we brought Devanahalli to the White House. Our last celebration here. On our last celebration here, we celebrated the festival of lights by dancing and schedule any dancing this visit. Señorita, puede poner, déjame. You know what I mean. Everybody said, by the way, how much better the dancer Michelle was than which were my favorites. On a more personal level, India represents the intersection of human and woman's. When Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was protesting racial segregation in the United States, he said that his guiding light was Dr. King came to India, he said that being here in Gandhi's land reaffirmed his conviction that in the struggle for justice and Vivekananda helped bring Hinduism and yoga to our country. Great man, he spoke of his faith, divinity, and every soul and eternity of God. He began his speech with a simple greeting: sisters and brothers of America. So today, let me say, sisters and brothers of India. My confidence in what our nations can achieve together is rooted in values. We may have a history, speak the language, but when we look at together, we have having thrown off colonialism, we created constitutions that began with we the people. A society is full of economic innovation. We transformed ourselves into high-tech global economy. Together we unlock and discover. Part of this innovation. We are among nations and here in India,
ಈಗ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
The United States has the largest Indian diaspora, including some 3 million. And they make America stronger. So for all these reasons, India and the United States are not just natural partners. I believe America can be India's best partner. I believe that. Of course, only Indians can decide India's role in the world, but I'm here because I'm absolutely convinced that both our nations will be and our nations will be more secure, will be safer, and our nations will joining you in your efforts to empower every Indian to make with the breakthroughs we achieve on this mission, we can finally move toward fully implementing a civil nuclear agreement, which will lead to a reliable and I don't have to describe to you what students being able to study at night, businesses being able to stay open, farmers being able to use mechanized tools to increase their productivity, whole communities seeing more investment. In recent years, India has lifted more people out of their country. Now we have a historic opportunity with India leading the way to end the injustice of extreme poverty all around the world. America wants to be your partner as you protect the health of your people and the beauty of this as we deliver more energy, electricity, let's do it with clean, renewable energy like solar and wind. Let's put cleaner vehicles on the road, more filtration systems. We believe we can be even closer partners and ensure our mutual security. Both our nations know the anguish of terrorism. We stand united in our defense. Now we're deepening our defense cooperation against our challenge. The United States welcomes a greater role for India in the Asian Pacific, where the freedom of navigation must be upheld, disputes must be resolved peacefully. And even as we acknowledge the world as it is, we must never stop working for the world as it should be. That should be a goal for all of us. I believe if we can achieve global progress, then two nations must work together. So to ensure international security and peace, multilateral institutions created in the 20th century. That's why it's important to reform the United Nations Security Council. India with your expertise in science and medicine, India can perform role to fight disease.
ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
Together, we can stand up against human trafficking and work to end the scourge of modern-day slavery. And being world partners means melting Himalayan glaciers, unpredictable monsoons, cyclones getting stronger. Few countries will be more affected by a warming planet than India. The United States recognizes our part in creating this problem, so we're leading the world. And today I can say that America's contribution is at its lowest level in almost 2 years. I know the argument made by some that it's unfair for countries like the United States to develop emerging economies like India to reduce their dependence on the same consequences that help control the market. Here's the truth. Even if countries like the United States put all our emissions, countries that are willing to rapidly soaring energy use don't also embrace cleaner fuels. So we welcome these ambitious targets and what we take to help India deal with the impacts of climate change, because you shouldn't have to bear that burden alone. As we keep working for a strong global agreement on climate change, it's young people like you who have to speak up so we can protect this planet for your generation. I'll be gone when the first effects happen. It's your generation. It's also responsibility. That's why it's important to do this work. Development that lifts up the lives of other people. Trade and economic partnerships are the most common and great opportunity. Leadership in the world that defends our security and advances human dignity and protects our planet. That's what I believe India and so the rest of my time I want to discuss accountability. Because in big, diverse societies like ours, progress ultimately depends on something more basic, that is how we see each other. We know from experience what nations great job of describing the essence. We are strongest when we see the inherent. Look at our countries, the incredible diversity, even here in this country. India is defined by countless languages and dialects. individual. Our Declaration of Independence proclaims that all men are created equal. In both our countries, generations have worked to when he came to India, Junior was introduced to some school children as a fellow teacher. My grandfather was in Kenya. The distance would range as Michelle's family from the tree. And we were told that people who look like us even as Americans, blessed us with extraordinary opportunities many countries, including the United States, questions of identity, equality, how we treat each other, people who have different paths, how we deal with diversity, beliefs, and faiths. And I believe their dreams just as important. So even as I
ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ.
The point is that the aim of our work must be not to just have a few do well, but to have everybody have a chance. Everybody who's working have the ability to rethink and issues. Our nations are strongest when we uphold the equality, and that includes our women. You may have noticed I am married to a very strong Michelle. Michelle is not afraid to speak her mind or tell me when I'm wrong, which she has. And we have two difficulties, but I'm surrounded by amazing woman speaker of the House. My great partner. And here in India, it's the wives and mothers who sort out the whole family and communities together. The young women who are here today are part of the new generation that is making more voices and standing up like that in India's politics. new technology for disease. When women are able to work, families are healthy, communities are healthy. When women are educated, so if nations really want to succeed in today's global economy, they can't simply ignore the talents and their people. And as husbands and fathers and brothers, we have to step up. Because every girl's life matters. Every daughter deserves the same chance for themselves. Every woman should be able to go out the streets or ride the bus and be safe, and be treated with respect and dignity. She deserves that. One of the favorite things about this trip for me has been to see all these incredible Indian women in the armed forces, including the person who commanded the guard that greeted me when I arrived. It's remarkable. It's a sign of great strength. Our nations are strongest when we see that we are all God's across our two great countries. We have Hindus and Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Jews, Buddhists, Nuns, so many things. And we remember the wisdom of Gandhiji, who said, "For me, the different religions are beautiful flowers from the same plant, with their branches in the same majestic tree." Branches of the same majestic tree. Our freedom of religion is written into our founding documents. It's part of America's very first Amendment. Article 5 says that all people are equally entitled to the right freely to profess, practice, and believe. In both our countries, in all countries, upholding this fundamental freedom is the responsibility of the government, but it's also the responsibility of every person. Our lives will show that.
ಈಗ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆ
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
3 years ago, in our state of Wisconsin, back in the United States, a man went into a Sikh temple. And a terrible act of violence, 6 innocent fear and discrimination. Peace we seek begins in human hearts. It finds its glorious expression when we look beyond differences, tribe, and rejoice. Nowhere is that more important. Nowhere is it more necessary than that foundation value to the other. India will succeed so long as our split lies in religious faith. So long as our split is unified as one nation. And it's when all Indians, whatever their faith, God we do that well. America shows itself as an example of diversity, and yet has to live together and work together. India, as massive as it is, with so much diversity, so many differences, is able to continually affirm its democracy. That is an example for India. That's what makes us world. Not just the size of our building to show the way how we work together, how much respect we show each other. And find our nations the strongest when we can power our young people. Because ultimately you're the one who has to break down these old stereotypes of people. These old ways of thinking. Prejudices, stereotypes, assumptions, and those who happens to that's why the young people are here in India, most people are 35 years old. And India's on track to become the world's most populous country. So young Indians like you aren't just going to define the future of this nation, you're going to shape it. Like young people everywhere who want to get an education, find a good job, it's not easy. But in our two countries, it's possible. Whether it's in America or in India, we believe young people like you have a chance to pursue their dreams as well. So as India builds one link with our young people, help make excellent institute. We'll encourage young people to start their business. Increase exchange. That way we can learn from each other. Because one of the things we have in common, Indians and Americans, is the hardest workers.
ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆ
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
I just want to tell you, we visited one of the children we met was a boy named Vishal. And today Vishal is 16 years old, and he and his family live in South Delhi in the village. And his mother works hard in the school. His sister is going to university. She wants to become a teacher. His brother is a construction worker. His father works in the Siddaramaiah. That's all what he makes. Go to school. And he's all about math. Most of these states. But he's not studying much. Dreams of someday joining the armed forces. And we're grateful that Vishal and his family joined us today. We're very proud of him. Because he's exactly the Dictate we believe in the Father sending money back so sparingly. We believe in the mother who grows without something more. We believe in the laborer earning his daily wage and the student pursuing her degree. We believe in the young boy who knows that if he just keeps studying, he's just given him a chance. His life might be realized too. As you build the country of your dreams. Thank you.
Thank you, Oprah, for having me. Thank you, guys.
So your father was very strict. Now, here's the thing. You've gone one-on-one with some fierce competitors in the world, right? Now you want one of the scariest situations any man can be in, raising 3 daughters.
Yes, extremely scary.
Are you a strict dad?
I am not super strict, but discipline is important. And also, you know, I'll go back to my dad. My dad loved me with the small capacity with which he was capable. So I learned from that. So with my daughters, I want to be as present with the love that I give them.
Present.
So, yes.
That's what we were talking about. What do you want to make sure that they get that you didn't get? And it's so interesting when you have children. I've seen this from a lot of people. You didn't get what you needed. You just didn't get what you needed because of what a lot just said. Your parents didn't have the capacity to give it to you. And now that you're older, you have to learn to give that to yourself and to be able to give that to your children in a way that you don't carry on what was done to you. So what is it you want your daughters to know about the way you love them?
I want my daughters to know that I love them unconditionally. Truly unconditional, without condition. And I have a daughter who's 18 years old, her name is Simone. Jasmine, who just turned 4. Tiana, thank you, who's getting ready to turn 2. And I am, as I told my 18-year-old daughter Simone, I said, I love you. I'm going to tell you I love you every day. I'm going to text you I love you.
You don't want to go say the words out loud.
Yes, because I get that. I look at you, I love you, I'm going to text you, but I also told her, I'm unattached. You don't even have to text me back. Right? You can text me back tonight, but you don't have to. Like, it's okay. It's without condition. It's unconditional love. I also want to teach my daughters the value of love. More importantly, I want to teach my daughters the value of being kind and how important that is.
Well, you know, I read that your father, you used to watch him in training, and he would say, if I'm going to get up at 6 a.m., you're going to get up at 6 a.m. So what do you think you got the most from him? Was it your work ethic? What was it?
it was definitely my work ethic. My dad was a man who against the odds made it, and but he would get up at usually 5:30 in the morning, and he would say, "If I get up, you're going to get up too." He would drag me to the gym. By the way, I'm 5 years old. He would drag me to the gym. Yes, and I wouldn't work out, but he would just make sure that I was there and be with him, and that was our time that we could spend together. And but I would say my work ethic from my dad. My dad always said too that regardless of what you do in life and where you go, respect is going to be given when it's earned, and you have to go out and earn it every single day.
Yeah. So, your dad taught you a lot. I wonder what have your daughters taught you?
My daughters taught me how to be, I think, more caring and more sensitive and more selfless.
Yeah. Were you there for all of them when they were born?
I was right there. Right there. Yes.
I mean, you were right.
I was right there, yes, and bring it on. This is our moment, yes.
Yeah. And is that a life-changing moment when that happens for you?
It's the greatest thing that I've ever experienced in life. And it gave me such a profound respect for my baby's moms. I have two. I was once married, and now I'm happily married. Lauren is back there. We've known each other for 13 years now, but it has been the most profound experience of my life. Because also, too, when you meet as a man, you meet someone, you meet a woman, and this is going to be the one, and you want to get married, and my first marriage didn't work out. But then the birth of a child and what that does, and the lens perspective that just shifts, and it just gives me a new profound respect for, again, the moms.
So it didn't work out with the marriage, but then she became your business partner, your first marriage.
She did, yes.
And you still are.
We still are. So my first, my ex-wife, Dan, the marriage didn't work out. It was just one of those things where it wasn't an ugly divorce. It was just, marriage wasn't in our cards. Great friends, marriage wasn't in our cards. But we both had an appetite for business and to accomplish things. And we thought, well, what if we continued to do business together? And do you think we can? And it felt like it was like we could make something happen, and we did.
I know you didn't grow up with a lot of money, and I read the story about, I think you were 15, and there was an eviction notice on the door, and how that made a big impression on you, right?
It did.
Now,
Yes.
you're one of the highest paid actors in the world.
Thank you. I do all right.
You do all right. And does that title, the sexiest man alive, the highest paid in the Kannada, all of those, what do those titles mean, if anything? You're the greatest, you're the most popular, you're the most followed, you're the most
It's great for the ego. It's wonderful. Yes.
Yeah, the better question is, how do you keep your ego in check when all of that is happening?
Sure. Very important. People happy.
Do you have anybody who can tell you the truth at this point?
Yes, from my life.
Okay. Lauren can tell you the truth.
Yes, Lauren can tell me the truth. But by the way, this is great. It's the tricky thing for us too, being in this position, is we want to make sure that we have people around us who are inspired to do well, and to share our vision.
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ!
Sometimes say,
ನಮ್ಮ
well,
ಭೂಮಿ!
I'm not quite too sure if that's the right thing to do. So, look, I've had a wonderful career, especially coming from being evicted, and those titles are nice and everything is fine. But honestly, I'm so grateful to be in the position I'm in, and I never take it for granted. I try not to.
I'm glad that you were once evicted, because it gives you such an appreciation for what you have now.
It just gives such perspective. When we were 14 years old, we lived in Hawaii, and we lived in a small efficiency apartment. And my mom and I came home, and I'll never forget, the rent was $180 a week. And there was an eviction, a week. And there was an eviction notice on the door. And this was the one, it was the final eviction notice. Like, that's the one. My mom started crying, and I never forgot in that moment. It was a seminal moment for me, because I felt like I never want to be in this position again. What can I wrestlers, they're all men who work hard with their hands and they build their body. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it like I taught me these other years, and I'll build my body so we're never evicted again. But being evicted like that, as you were saying, was not only giving me just good perspective, but also good gratitude. So, and my team and my family, we laugh at it, but I feel this way. Like, oh, well, you know, we're a month away from being evicted. I gotta go to work. Like, I still have that in my head. I still have that in my head, you know, but it keeps you grounded. Yeah, because that's why the most this and the most that is wonderful, but the alternative is what I once was.
And it also doesn't change the way you're wired, because I still save toast. I do. I will save toast rather than throw it away. And I know there's going to be more toast, but I still do because there's something in me, because when we were growing up, we had to save it. You know, you weren't allowed to like throw food away. So it was a really big deal. So here's the deal. You have now you get the biggest paychecks. You have all this money, acclaim, fame. You didn't have that growing up. How do you raise children who have good sense and are also kind when they have everything? Because part of what many of you are is having had that eviction notice and having not had everything. So how do you do that? How are you planning to do that with your children?
So, for example, with my 18-year-old daughter, it was really important that we share those stories about being evicted. Her mom's parents were immigrants who came over from Cuba. It's important that we've always shared those stories. And also, we try and keep it as simple as we possibly can. We have a farm in Virginia. I happily say that I moved my family here to Atlanta. So, place 30, 45 minutes away, we're very quiet. But also, just making sure that we continue to instill in our babies and our kids the value of a dollar and what it means and the value of food, and always saying how grateful we are and the things that we're grateful for, especially at that young age.
So I want to know, how is success different than the way you imagined it would be?
I never imagined this. At one time when I was a kid, I did feel in my heart and in my gut that I thought, I think the world's going to hear from me. I don't know how, but I do feel it. But I never thought in my mind it was this level of success or fame even. It was, I don't know how, but the world's going to hear from me. So, which is maybe why, at times I could walk around and I could look at things like I'm a big kid. Like everything at times could be like I'm in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I'm just really in awe of everything that's really happening around me.
What's the first thing you splurged on when you realized you had enough to splurge?
Okay. So, the first thing I splurged on, so when I was a kid, 13, 14 years old, in my mind, what meant to be successful was a Rolex watch. Right. So there was such a valuable lesson out of this. So I thought for years, every successful man has a Rolex watch that has diamonds in it. So when I finally was making a little bit of money, and this was in 1999, and I thought, okay, and this, by the way, I was still living in an apartment, paying monthly rent, again.
You renting and buying a Rolex?
I was just renting. Horrible financial decisions.
If you're buying a Rolex, okay?
Yes. This is what not to do. So I thought, this is it. I'm going to splurge. And I got myself a Rolex. And I wore it. At that time I was wrestling. I wore it in the ring. Not for much, but I was doing it. And I wore it in the ring. A melee broke out, which always happens in the wild world of professional wrestling. One of the wrestlers fell on the Rolex and came off.
Ghostne ಬರ್ಲೆ ghostne no
It's a live TV. And you see me. Oh my gosh. The Rolex. I'm supposed to be in the moment and wrestling these other guys. Oh no, my Rolex. Like you can see the tape. I'm trying to get my Rolex and somebody's like kicking me and trying to get it. So I finally get my Rolex back. I go backstage and I look at it. I'm heartbroken now. This is my thing. And I go home that night remember immediately thinking, this is a sign, and
Oh, I believe in signs.
yes, it's a sign, and I will, and I don't need it, and it wasn't right for me at that time, and I never got anything like that.
And so now, do you splurge carefully?
I do. I'm not a big bling guy or anything like that, and I always want to just make sure that now the splurge is usually with property. Like we have 2 properties. That way, because
Believe in real estate.
yes, you do.
I do.
Yes.
I love property the way someone loves shoes. You know, I do.
Because it's
God isn't making any more land, okay?
That's
This is
right.
what we got here on the planet Earth. You're not getting any more. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And also the properties are anchor. It's where we have to be comfortable. And so that and I have a few pickup trucks. That's it.
Just a few. So I remember reading this that it was like WrestleMania 13, and it was showing called Rocky, and there were a bunch of fans at the time who were jeering you, and they were saying, unkind things, and you used that moment and literally turned on your heels and turned it around. And this whole Vision Tour is about people who've been knocked down sometimes in life. Everybody, not in the ring, but have had those moments when you feel like the rest of the world saw you for who you needed to be. How were you able to turn that around?
Okay, so thank you for bringing that up. So this is, it was a turning point in my career, and it really allowed me to grow, and it really allowed me just to be me, and be anchored in the core. So when I first started wrestling, the idea was, well, why don't you call yourself Rocky Maivia? Out of respect for your dad, Rocky Johnson, and your grandfather, Peter Maivia. I hated the name. And I thought, well, I just wanted to make my own way. And I wanted to be independent. I love my family, but I don't want to do it like that because it feels like I'm trying to leverage their fame. The powers that be said, no, that's your name. I was also told, well, when you go out and you wrestle, you have to smile. I want you to smile big. This is in the WWE.
Why are you smiling?
Because the idea was I was a rookie in the wrestling business. I was what's called the wrestling business. There's a term called babyface, which is a good guy. I was being groomed as a good guy wrestler. Young. The idea was you're grateful for the opportunity. So when you go out there, I want you to smile. You can't smile. And I thought, well, what if I lose? No. Yes, exactly. You still got to smile. It just didn't feel right. That didn't sit right with me. So a few months later, the company made me the Intercontinental Champion. And then a month later, we go into the annual biggest event. It's like the Super Bowl of wrestling, WrestleMania. And it was WrestleMania 13. By the time I got to Chicago, WrestleMania, 16,000 people in the middle of the ring when I was in the ring, and I'm supposed to be a good guy, you're supposed to cheer me. 16,000 people were chanting Rocky songs. Thank you for laughing. Pretty good. But it was.
Can you hear the word sucks clearly when you're on the mat? Rocky sucks.
Yes. There's a reverb that happens in the arena. And when in unison, not one person, 16,000. And I remember laying there in the ring, and the referee said to me, don't listen to him. And it was crippling for me. So then, at that time, powers that be thought, this isn't going to work. And for whatever reason, people are not like you know, and they're not connecting with you. And so in that moment, it was very defining because I asked them if I could just be myself. And if I could go out there and don't smile, I don't smile. Laugh, I laugh. But when I sing, I sing. Whatever it is, I just want to be me. Can I have that for 1 minute? Live TV.
ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರ್ಲಿ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
Vince McMahon said, "You got it." So on Raw, live TV, I grabbed the microphone and I said, I may be a lot of things, but socks isn't one of them. And I said something to the effect of, basically, it's not a this thing, it's not a that thing, it's a new thing, myself putting it on. And before you know it, I guess the moral of the story is the importance and the power of finding identity and being true to who you are. Even in that wild world of pro wrestling, it still applies to everyone in the room, and how powerful that could be, because it was a true shift and click moment, and I never looked back, and I became, fortunately, the biggest draw that the business has ever seen.
Wow. You know, I was talking earlier about intention, and you have acquired and continue to acquire a lot as you're continuing to build $7. What is the purest, highest, truest intention behind it all? Because I know, at the end of the day, it isn't all about fame, but it isn't all about making money. So the reason why you want to continue to grow and succeed is what? To
create an amazing experience for people. And that's important to me, because that's an opportunity to give joy and help, whether it's or whatever it is. Like that, the audience experience is something that's deeply personal to me. And I think that goes back to when so before the bright lights of the WWE, I was wrestling in a small wrestling company. We would wrestle in flea markets, used car dealerships, put a ring in a used car dealership and parking lot. The reason I bring up state players, there's an intimacy, even at that level, it's always about, well, how can I send the audience and make people feel good? And by the way, I also feel like we're in a position to make people feel good. It's such a powerful thing. It's such a powerful thing.
I know we did you for Masterclass for OWN, and something you said there really stuck with me. That the most powerful thing you can ever do is to be yourself.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we were talking about that earlier, about that moment that you learned to be authentic is when everything changed.
That's when everything changed. It's like a shift and click moment for me, when I realized there's great power in being myself, same thing for all of us. But I do believe it's the most powerful thing that we could be. It's easier said than done, because I struggled for a long time trying to figure out, well, what's my identity and who am I? And for example, when I got to Hollywood, the very first time I got to Hollywood in the early 2000s, I was told, again, well, if you want to be a star, then maybe you shouldn't talk about wrestling, maybe you shouldn't go to the gym as much, maybe you shouldn't raise your silly eyebrow. There was a lot of things like that, but when you don't know, you buy into it. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe, so don't call yourself The Rock. Okay, so again, I went through that entire process for years trying to figure out who I was. And then when you look back in my earlier career, the films I was doing, they were good, but just not, like, oh, that's how I like to see him, because he is his true authentic self.
And have you had a sweet revenge moment?
Who sucks now, huh?
One of those,
Yes. It was... Okay, so at this time when I felt like, okay, I really need to make a change in my career. I need to be me, and I want to have the kind of career that is a global career. And I said, I'm not quite too sure how we're going to do it, but I need you to buy into the vision with me, and I'm willing to put in the work of my own 2 hands. As I was telling my agency at that time in Hollywood. And they all looked at me like I had 3 heads, and they thought, well, we just don't. They thought, okay, sure, kind of placating me. And then eventually I left them, and then decided, you know what? My name is The Rock, and I come from the world of professional wrestling, and I look the way I look, and I talk the way I talk, and I love to work out, and you know what, this is who I'm going to be, and then here I am. So, for those who said, we don't get it, kind of sort of revenge.
So you you posted on Instagram in November, joy and hope cost nothing. Remember this?
Yes.
And yet, it's the most powerful gift that we can all give, and that's the real magic to life. So after everything that we've been through, particularly this past week, what are you now most grateful for today?
I'm most grateful for life. I'm most grateful for an opportunity. I'm most grateful for my family. Gratitude is a big thing. It's truly my anchor. Yes, you too, right? It's my anchor. Heart full of gratitude. And even in death, and even when things don't go right, even though I didn't make it to the NFL, me making it to the NFL was the best thing that never happened. Yes. Because it also gave me a great sense of gratitude to be here, so I would say that it would be...
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
Also, I want to tell you,
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
this, Oprah, and I want to tell you guys, like, I was so excited to come here and do this with you and share a little bit of my story and background and any kind of wisdom that I have. I'm not going to share with you guys, but I want you to know that, especially this week, that just warmed my heart. I needed this from you, and I thank you, truly. Thank you. Thank you so much. I did. I love you back. I truly
That's a
do.
good mana y'all just gave. It's a good mana.
But thank you. I did. I needed this. And I needed this. I needed the love and this mana. Because what I also realized is, and I felt it coming in, is that, you go to rock concerts and things and events and wrestling matches and whatever. But, when you come to this room and you have thousands, 12, 13, 15,000 people who have one intention, which is to be better and give so much love and receive so much love. It's a powerful thing.
It is a very powerful thing. Thank you for being here today to share.
This is what it all means. Right? So, we live every day in gratitude. That's and, but it all comes down to this, and it all comes down to family. This is what it all comes down to. It all comes down to family, working hard to love, protect, and do everything that you can to make your family and the ones you love their lives better. Thank you so much. Thank you. Paid you guys a lot of money, and I love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to thank you to the city of Los Angeles. Thank you for this wonderful speeches that you guys have given on my behalf. Thank you. Thank you to my friend Tom Rothman, chairman of Sony. We go back a long way. I first started my career. One of the first movies I did was with Tom. We did The Tooth Fairy. So yeah. And I remember calling Tom and I said, Tom, as your guy, you started the movie. I'm so committed to this movie. I'm so committed to ice skating. I've never ice skated in my life. I tried to ice skate one time. I almost killed myself. I said, Tom, I don't think I'm going to hockey player, right? I said, I do, yes. Long pause, and as great chairman of our industry will say and do, he paused and he goes, "Will you just go out there and kick ass? Let me take care of the rest." So Tom, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I also want to recognize a few people who are here who came. We have my good friend Josh Greenstein is here. Some say Steen, some say Stein. He is a marketing and distribution genius. Josh, thank you so much. Everything I've done for the years, and I'm very excited, obviously, about Margie. My good friend, the president, the man over at Warner Brothers now, Toby Emmerich. Toby, thank you so much for coming out. All the movies we've done in the past. Of course, we have Rampage coming out. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for paying my full freight price. Thank you. Claire Rich, we love you. Thank you so much, Claire. So I gotta say this. I didn't write anything down. I didn't write anything down because this is such a monumental if I happen to, if you hear me saying, hold on a second, that just means I'm getting emotional. I'm just going to calm myself down. Yes? And then I'll reset and everything will be good. You know, this moment, it's so significant because it means full circle. And I came into this business, 2018 will mark 18 years. That is a very long time. Earning respect and doing the things that we do, that we like saying on social media. 200 million fans, family that we have on social media. We talk about being the hardest workers in the room. We talk about getting after it. We talk about getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, maybe that's me. But it does, you too. Nice. Well, it does come full circle because when I got into this business, I didn't come in the traditional way. I didn't go get my headshots done in black and white, although I would have used color because my skin was kind of good looking. I gotta exfoliate, so I might have chosen colored headshots, but I didn't come in that way. I came in a different route. I made my bones in the wild and into the world of professional wrestling, the WWE. Thank you. The people's water, yes. It's actually vodka. The only thing I knew when I got into this business, and these guys will tell you, Ron Meyer, who's not here, he's part of that group, of course, Toby, Tom, and so many others, is the only thing I knew was I was going to be committed to putting in the work, and I was going to put in the work my own 2 hands. That was what I was going to do. So for me, years later, to be here and celebrate this and get this started, signifies things coming full circle, but also signifies one of 3 things that I wanted to share with you guys today. And the first thing is the willingness to always put in the hard work without taking it. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what our dreams are, regardless of what we do now, what we want to do in the future, whatever it is you want to do, it will always come down to working your ass off, putting in the work. So that's the first thing. The second thing I thought I should say is probably the most important. Is gratitude. Now, thank you for saying because I'm almost there. Hold on a second. Is gratitude. I am so grateful. I wake up every day. My heart is so full of gratitude for the position that I'm in, for the opportunities that I have, for the opportunities that I'm able to create. Guys, here's the thing with success, right? We're here, we're celebrating this, we're in the Mecca. This is Hollywood. We're in LA. We're the Mecca of entertainment around the world. It all starts right here, right? So here's the thing with success. There is no success regardless of what you do, right? We all have different ways. There's no success alone. You don't do it alone. No. It takes a team. So I am so grateful
recognize a few people in my life, and just a few, and they are here, who, without them, there would be no me. So the first, yes. So the first one would be my biggest fan. You know who I'm talking about, yes, but she's literally my biggest fan. When we met President Obama and his beautiful wife Michelle, she takes out, would you like to see my son? This is him as a baby. My mom, Auntie Johnson, the strongest woman I know. Mama, yes, that's Mama Rock. It's crazy, we were driving over here and she was like, did you ever think this would be possible? I said, no. I said, no, not at all. I said, we were evicted when I was 15 and now we're here. This is amazing, yes. God is good. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The next person is when I first had my first lunch with this man, and I said, look, I don't know, I don't have the answers on how we're going to get there, but I just know there's a bigger future for us, and there's greatness in the future. I don't know how we're going to get there, but I'm committed to you to get there. He goes, brother, you don't know how we're going to get there. Just know we're going to get there, and when we do get there, we're going to keep going, and we're not going to stop. This man has been in our life for years. He is our lead agent. He is a partner at WME, the company which represents me. His name is Brad Slater. I'm so grateful you got it. Thank you so much for being here. You are the man. Thank you. Another guy who I have to mention, actually before I mention him, there's some directors I think are here. My first director, I think, so Jake Gaston, ladies and gentlemen, director of Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Thank you so much for being here. Jake said, I want to create a character that the world has never seen before, and he was right, considering how audiences around the world are seeing the movie and loving it. You're right, Jason, thank you so much. Another director who is here, we directed Central Intelligence together. We have a big movie, yes, we have a big movie coming. I know you're cheering for me. We have a big movie coming out this summer called Skyscraper. He is a dear friend, he is my brother, and he is a phenomenal collaborator and a brilliant creative writer director, Rawson Thurber. Thank you so much for being here. And you just had a baby, congratulations. Yes. So if you find out who the dad is, I'll congratulate you again. This next guy he is our #1 producing partner, and I've known him for years. He matches my ambition, my drive, but and he is so successful. We've produced movies like Hercules and Journey to Mysterious Island, and San Andreas, Rampage coming out, Jungle Cruise, you name it. The best part about this man is he is an amazing father to his 2 daughters, and he's also a high-quality human being. And it matters, character matters these days. That's what we see. Hollywood, everywhere else, right? He's a good person, he's a person that is a high-quality human being. Brother, I'm so grateful for him. Thank you. All right. Next guy he started off as my assistant on the Scorpion show. So many times I had to go pick him up. He is my assistant. I'm not kidding. It's unbelievable. I was like, there's no way this kid's gonna make it. There's no way. Years later, I've known him since I was 18 years old, since he was 14 years old. Years later, he was the president of 7 Bucks Productions. Garcia, I love you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Hiram's sister is a woman who co-founded 7 Bucks with me. She founded the Garcia Companies, which is a holding company, management company for enterprise. She's an incredible partner. She's also my ex-wife and the mother of our beautiful 16-year-old daughter, Simone, who we are so proud of her. So just this past week, within the past 2-3 weeks, Simone was named the very first ever
you were here. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to her mom, a real force in Hollywood, and again, one of the greatest human beings ever. This is Danny Garcia Ramsey. Okay, so the success. The people's towel, yes. Yes, buddy. For those of you who don't know, in the world of the WWE, I'm known as the #1 people's champion. And and in the world of the WWE, like on the count of 3, they also chant Rocky. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. The People's Champ, by the way, that moniker was given to me by the one and only Muhammad Ali, and I thank you. I thank his presence today. This kind of people always ask me, what's the secret to success? What's the secret? I said, well, there's not just one secret. What are the many secrets to success? What I always say is success doesn't happen without a great partner, without a great wife, I have to save this one for last, ironically, because she is number 1. And that is, this woman is inspiring to me. Yes, the mother of our and we also just announced this past Monday that we're having baby number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, my much better and better looking half, Lord Hashem, love you. Thank you. I'm so grateful to you. I'm so grateful to you. Now, yes, Jazzy's clapping. That a girl, honey. And I want to thank everyone who's here, by the way. Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Asia, thank you, everyone. So, ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಬರೋ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ಸ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮೀನಾಕ್ಷಿ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಕಸ್ಟಮರಿಂದ ತುಂಬ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. All right, so very last thing, that's 2. So the first one is hard work that we put in with our 2 hands. The other one is gratitude and living every day in gratitude. I'm so eternally grateful for everyone who I just thanked. And I also want to point this out. I am so grateful to the core of my bones for the fans. Yeah, I mean it. Thank you. Thank you, because at the end of the day, all this goes away but one for you. And it's true. And I thank you. Thank you, guys. I love you guys. Thank you. Okay, so last thing, very quick, is last night Lauren said to me, hey, do you know what you're going to say? And I said, I don't know. I'm probably just going to speak from my heart, talk from my gut. I said, what do you think? She goes, well, we talk about so much. She goes, what do you just talk about? What it all meant? What it all means? I don't know what you meant by that. I said, well, what do you think? She goes,
This is what it all means, right? So, the hard work that we go to these, right? Gratitude, that's down. With that, guys, I thank you. I love you. Yeah, what did mommy and daddy say? I love you. That's what she's saying, yes. So, when I was 15 years old, and I talked about earlier, I was evicted. We were evicted out of our one-bedroom apartment in Honolulu, Hawaii. We were forced to leave the island, and here we are today. I heard a quote when I was 15, and I thought, if I'm ever in a position one day, I'd love to be able to live this quote. And years later, I'm celebrating with all of you around the world now who's watching this, my family, my friends, my my three beautiful girls, one on the way. And the quote is this, and I figured this is the perfect time to deliver this quote to you guys. Because it means so much to me in here, in my mind, in my spirit, which is, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And with that, I love you, and I thank you.
OMG, it's about to happen. So, of the 9 visionaries joining us on the WWE Presents there's only one but when it's one of the most recognizable, big-hearted, delightful, fun, strong people on the planet, he's all you need. Please welcome Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson!
ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
Thank you, Oprah, for having me. Thank you, guys.
You know, it means so much to everyone that you are here with us today, since it was only 10 days ago that your father, your soul man Johnson, passed away. And when that happened, I thought, oh no, I didn't think that you were able to be here. And you are, so thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So has it been a challenging week?
I will tell you this, that great friend with so many people. So I wasn't suffering, thankfully, but
I read on Instagram where you said you wish you had this role again. Do you think you got all the things said that you wanted to say? You did not.
no, I did not. But, so that's the tricky thing, I think, as we all go through this, and we all lose loved ones, is I think what I've realized in the past couple of months is it's good to explore these feelings and feeling really guilty. I wish he would have said the things to me as a father. Now as a father of 3 daughters, who had good things and incomes, I didn't get them. It's okay to explore those feelings. So then I to heal, to make sure that we come back to an anchoring foundation of gratitude. Gratitude for what I was able to have with you. And so I didn't get a chance to say the things that I wanted to say to you. However, another thing that was important too is, because in death, that's when we can smile and think, well, I should have done this, I should have called, I should have sent more pictures. The relationship that I had was a relationship that was appropriate. That he was proud of me when I became successful in the industry that he had given his love to. So, my father, who don't know, he was a professional wrestler.
So was it
My grandfather was a professional wrestler too. My dad, Rocky Johnson, was half black and half Samoan. Oh, thank you.
all the Samoans in the house?
The reason why I say this, my dad was a black man coming up in the 60s and 70s in the world of professional wrestling, which in a lot of the companies he wrestled was all throughout the South. So he was a trailblazer in many ways, because what he was able to do as a black man was wrestle. We lived here in Atlanta when I was a kid. What he was able to do was go to these small towns where there was an all-white wrestling business, all-white bands, and at the time in the late 60s where racial tension was still very strong, and the rooms were still there. But he was able to change behavior, audience's behavior, so this all-white audience didn't ever cheer in these arenas. And he was actually, it's not like he was wrestling until so he was trailblazing in the sense, he was a trailblazer. So the reason why I bring that up is because
ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
I know what he did. He would take credit for it.
Yeah.
Of course, I taught him everything I know.
Yeah. And so, I don't feel that someone close to your recent, have you reached the point where you can feel like you have that, the spirits unite and they become one?
I love that you said that. I feel like the day he died, that night I went to bed, and I felt so again grateful and moved prana and energy. Because I realized, like, oh wow.
I love that. And you just mentioned
powerful. It's a very powerful thing.
So your father was very strict. You've gone serious situations anyone can be raising 3 daughters. Yeah.
Yes. Extremely scary.
Are you a strict dad?
I am not super strict, but discipline is important. But also, I go back to my dad. My dad loved me with a small capacity in which he was capable. So I learned from that. And so my dad is able to be as firm and as amazing with the love that I give. So
That's what I'm talking about. What do you want to make sure they get that you didn't get? And it's so interesting when you have children who say, you didn't get what you needed. You just didn't get what you needed. Your parents didn't have the capacity to give it to you. And now that you're older, you have to learn to give that to yourself and to be able to give that to your children in a way that you don't carry on and understand. So what does it mean for your daughters? I read that your father, you used to watch him in training, and he would say, if I'm going to get up at 6 a.m., you're going to get up at 6 a.m. So what do you think you got the most from him? Was it your work ethic? What was it?
It was definitely my work ethic. My dad was a man who against the hours, and he would get up at usually 5:30 in the morning.
So, your dad taught you a lot. I wonder what have your daughters taught
ಈಗ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
I have two. I was once married, and now I'm happily married. But I was right there. The lens perspective that just shifts. It just gives me a new profound respect for, again, their moms.
So it didn't work out with the marriage. You're now a business partner. Your first marriage.
Did it? Yes. We still are. So my first ex-wife, the marriage, it wasn't an ugly divorce. It was in our cards. Great friends.
You're right. And does that title, like Sex is all of those, what do those titles mean, if anything?
It's great for the ego. It's wonderful.
Yeah. The better question is, how do you keep your ego in check when all of that is happening?
Sure. Very important. People have
Do you have anybody on the table that should be Lauren can tell me the
Yes,
truth.
Lauren can tell me the truth, but by the way, this is very much a tricky thing for us too. I'm not quite too sure if that's the right thing to do. So, look, I've had a wonderful career, especially coming from being evicted, and those titles are nice. Honestly, I'm so grateful to be in the position I'm in, and I never take anything for granted.
I'm glad that you were because it gives you such appreciation for what you are.
It just gives such perspective. We were 14 years old, we lived in Hawaii, and we lived in a small efficiency program. And my mom and I came home, and I'll never forget the rent was $100. And there was an eviction a week, and there was an eviction notice on my door. And this was the one, it was the final eviction notice. That's the one. I started crying, and I'll never forget it. And it was a sad moment for me because I thought, I didn't want to be in this position. So at 14 years old, for example, being evicted, as you were saying, has not only given me just great perspective, but also great gratitude. So my team and my family I still have that in my head, you know, but it keeps you grounded. That's why the most this and the most that, it's wonderful. But the alternative is lost.
And it also doesn't change the vanilla because I still save toast. I do. I will save the toast. And I know I was going to be my toast, but I still do because there's something I love is me. I save it. You have now the biggest paychecks. You have all this money. How do you raise
ಈಗ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನೋ
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
Those stories. So we try and keep it as simple as but also just making sure that we continue to instill in the babies and the kids the value of $1 and what it means and the value of food and always saying how grateful we are and the things that we're grateful for, especially at that young age.
How is success different?
I never imagined this. When I was a kid, I did feel in my heart that I think the world was going to be different. Still not, but I do feel it. I never thought in my mind it was this success or fame even. It was the world for me. So, which The first thing I splurged on, so when I was a kid, 14 years old, 13, 14 years old, what meant to be successful was a Rolex watch. So it was everyone had to be successful. So when I finally was making a little bit of money, this is it. I'm going to splurge, and I got myself a Rolex, and I wore it at the time I was wrestling. And I wore the ring, melee broke out, which always happens in a wild professional wrestling. One of the wrestlers fell on the ring. It broke. Live TV, and you see me. Supposed to be in the moment and wrestling these other guys. Oh no, my Rolex. You can see the tape. I'm trying to get my Rolex and somebody's like kicking me and they're trying to get it. So I finally get my Rolex back. I go backstage and look at it. I'm heartbroken now. This is my thing. And I go home that night and I remember immediately thinking, this is a sign. And yes, it's a sign. And I will don't need it, and I never got anything.
So now do you splurge carefully?
I do. I'm not a big phone guy or anything like that. I always want to just make sure that now the splurge is usually property,
I believe in real estate.
Yes, you do.
I do.
Yes.
I'm not proud of the way some women love shoes. God isn't making anyone land, okay? This is what we got here on the planet Earth. We're not getting anywhere.
And also the properties are anchoring so that and
Just a few. So I remember reading this, that it was like WrestleMania 13, and you're still being called Rocky. And there were a bunch of fans at the time who were jeering and you used that moment and literally turned on your heels and turned around. And the celebration tour is about people who think I'm not going to go in the ring, but at those moments when the rest of the world saw you for who you needed to be, how were you able to turn around?
Okay, so thank you for bringing that up. It was a turning point, and it really allowed
ಈಗ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
because the idea was I was working in the wrestling business. It was what's called wrestling business. It's a
ನಮ್ಮ
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Still got a smile.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel right. That didn't sit right. So a few months later, the company made me the Intercontinental Champion. And then a month later, we went to the annual biggest event, the Super Bowl of wrestling. WrestleMania 13. By the time I got to Chicago, I said something to the effect of basically tonight, this thing is not about to me being something. And before you know it, I guess the moral of the story is the importance of the power of finding an identity and being true to who you are. Even in that wild world of pro wrestling, it still applies to everyone in the ring. How powerful that is because it's a truly shift, click moment. And then I got back and I became, fortunately, the biggest draw the business has ever seen.
And isn't that the moment, really, that particular moment, was something that turned into the moment of
Correct. Yes. So that's when he was rocking my ring. I said, I'm not going to be called that. We call the Rock. And
it's working for you.
it's working.
So even now, with all of the success you say, you still see every opportunity as kind of a crack in the wall. Tell us what that means for you.
I do. So what that means is that must have looked like every opportunity represents the scratch, represents every opportunity. Therefore, his success on the other side of the scratch is the scratching hard, digging, it's that mentality to really take advantage of every opportunity. So
Have you reached the point where you accept your success? Like the world sees it, we all know it. 69 million Insta followers. You accept
why it was happening and what am I doing, because it was very systematic. It was a blueprint, because there really wasn't a blueprint.
ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
I know it's more. There's a discipline to it. There's an art to it. Yes, it's almost like a physical
And I always say
physical soap.
I always tell people. Lose. Oh, it's fake. It's not real. It's hard. That didn't happen.
But aren't you the first and only third-generation wrestler?
I was the very first third-generation wrestler in the industry of wrestling, and I went on to have a pretty accomplished career. It was my first daughter, Simone, who's 18 years old, straight A student. She's at University of Central Florida. She's training now to become a WWE superstar. Yes. He's working so hard.
So we know you're with the workouts. You travel with your own 40,000. You travel with your gym?
Yes. Let me give everybody context as to why I travel with the gym, which is it's hard. There we go.
You call this your own journey, or you actually like solitude?
I do, yes. So, the gym for me, this physical activity for me, is my always. I would recommend more than just it's way more than just weight. It's just it is balance. What it allows me to do, it's the only time for me. And we all need this because this treadmill of life is no stopping. So it's so crazy. It just allows me to cut the noise and clear my head. I need to do it. I need to because without the influx of information and people trying to tell me
What was your workout today? I can see it.
I did those things. Did the thing.
I'm feeling it. So I know your company is called $7 because you found yourself at one time. You $7. You turned that around.
I did. And I had a dream. And that dream was to play professional football. I fell in love with the game of football. Played at the University of Miami. Thank you. Great teams. We won the national championship. My goal was to play in the NFL. Again, because we didn't have a so I wanted to be the first one. Somehow, I never lived in the West until I was 20 years old. The dream didn't come true. I didn't get drafted. I didn't get any offers. I worked up in Canada, Canadian football league. And when I was cut, thank you, when I was cut from there, I'll never forget it. I was 75. I lived in Tampa, came to Miami. Forced to move back to my parents, which was, because you I rounded up optimistic. So I thought, oh, I have $7. And now everything, production company, marketing, everything is $7.
And I love that because I believe that everything that is happening to us is happening to us. And so we know when it's $7, and I'll turn it around and company empire into $7 productions.
We do. We have a big event coming to Atlanta called Atlanta.
Did you hear about this? Atlanta?
Yeah, thank you.
Tell us what that is.
It's great. way, Athleticon is imagine if Oprah's 2020 Vision Tour and Great Fitness Expo That's
Imagine that. Speaking of having babies, I'm actually sweet to see the team
ಯೋಚನೆ ಬರಲೇ ಗೋಟ್ನೇನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ
Start society over.
Are you good with Tina May's plan?
That's so funny, I saw that. But yes, I think in the spirit of populating the human race and taking care of the human race, I just have to ask my wife, Lauren. I'm sure she'll be down with that.
Lauren, would you loan him out a little bit? Okay. I think part of the reason that both men and women are drawn to you is that beyond actually the exterior, in a world where masculinity is evolving, I would say it's changing.
Long time overdue.
Yeah, and I would say that in this world,
That's been a learning experience since my first open but then it continues to evolve. It's just I'll tell you a funny story about this, and I'm going to show you the text. Last night, my wife excited shifting a little, and she's like, for me, because I'm
ಘೋಷಣೆ ಬರಲೇ ಘೋಷಣೆನು
ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಭೂಮಿ.
She's like, sure. So, again, horrible. I leave, I go in the kitchen, eating, I take a picture, I said, she Nick, it's not your tail! He is not your tail! With 10 exclamation points. And I ran into the bedroom. I said, "I'm kidding. You're my Gail. I'm kidding.
Lauren's your Gail.
So it would be my wife, Lauren.
That is so good when you can have a partner.
Yes.
Gary Zukav calls that a spiritual partnership. When you have a partnership between equals for the purpose of spiritual growth, together in spirit.
100%. And that's what our relationship is. It reminds me when we were married this past August. We were there.
Is it true you proposed 3 days ago?
We were getting married. I was waiting for the right opportunity to and so I wanted to wait and why I didn't especially didn't want to do it. So I kept telling her, we walked out to the cliff, looking at the sunset, and down on one knee, she turns around. We got married very early. It's gonna work out. That's okay. We got married very early because in Hawaii, everybody was out. Also, we had a very small wedding.
So on just a Saturday, here we're at a stadium with 12,000 people. And if you want, we're just hanging out with the girls, which I'll be doing. What advice do you have for these men?
Remember that you're usually wrong. But I would say keywords to remembering this. You're right. Listen. Understanding good at it. Then inherently you put a lot of credit in that thing. You just understand your wife, your partner, and then there's a big level of appreciation too as well. And then you make babies.
You make babies. Someone asked me this yesterday, and I love this question. What still surprises you the most about people?
I don't know if it's a surprise. Maybe it just gives me great comfort. It makes me feel good. It's probably our world today. Such a magnification of negativity and pessimism. It's just, it's always out there and it's around. But people are good.
What surprises you, still surprises you the most